Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talk. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Got a great video planned out for you guys today. It is Monday morning. Hopefully, we're going to see gold and silver start out pretty pumped up for the week. We'll see how that plays out. I know last night, I say last night, it's actually 2 in the morning, but before I actually ended up going out and shooting some pool with some friends, and before I left, gold and silver were taking a hit, but it looked like it pretty well recovered really quick, and I think we've got a good stable ground right now that we're sitting on, with silver right around the $38 mark, gold right around the $33.50 mark, and I'm guessing it's going to probably sit there, maybe even inch up a little bit throughout the week. I foresee gold and silver continuing to move higher. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys silver is going to shoot up to $100 tomorrow. I try to kind of just assume that things are going to keep playing out the way they have been, because you have to understand right now, governments, central banks, everybody is positioning themselves for the big move that I believe will be coming pretty soon. And they want to get all they can, as would I if I was in that position. And in fact, I'm the same way, I guess you can say, because I'm stacking what I can. If you guys seen my short video that I put up, when we saw that recent dip, I ended up picking up a bunch of stuff. I had 2 packages come in for giveaways, prizes, which was pretty cool. I haven't opened them yet. I did open up a bunch of these boxes. I got some really cool stuff. I didn't do package openings, but I will end up showing in a short video what I picked up. So you guys will see the shorts on that. But today, got a great video planned out for you guys. Today, I actually want to talk a little bit about a comment that I had got in over the weekend. And I thought it was a great comment because it really did a good job showing people what is really happening. And a lot of people think, you know, that, oh, gold and silver is not going up fast enough. Yeah, I'll be honest. It's not going up, quadruple overnight. It takes time. But ultimately, it is going up. And you can clearly see it in this comment that I'm going to read from Alexander. Basically, hey, T, how's it going? I recently uncovered an envelope I thought I had lost a long time ago. Inside it was an Engelhart 1-ounce bar in its original packaging and a receipt for $5.55, and also had a $20 bill in there. Today, I could sell that ounce for $50, and the $20, still just $20. And, I want to talk about that comment because there's a lot that we can see from this comment. I think it was a great comment, and it really does make sense. When you really see what's going on, this is a prime example. It doesn't matter how you had that $20 bills, whether you had it in a savings account, whether you had it under your mattress, whether you had it in your wallet or in an envelope. But if it's silver, gold, another tangible item, it's continuing to go higher and higher. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to take a look at the prices real quick, see where they are at, see how close I was, assuming that it was at the numbers that I just said. I think we're going to pretty well see some stability. Not really seeing a huge pullback like we should see during the summer months. Usually the summer months we're seeing that pullback. We're not seeing it, which is really awesome in a way, because when prices of precious metals are supposed to pick up, then we're going to see the action happening. So let's take a look and see what's going on. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button, leave me a comment, do the ultimate. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to become a member, it is only $1.99. And speaking of members, we just had a special event over the weekend. Congratulations, Ali Tregrant. I don't think I said that right again. I'm horrible with the last names. But congratulations. You were the winner of our 1-ounce silver. I did actually see a comment that you had gotten it, and it just said, hey, I popped in just to see who won. Saw I had won. I sent you an email. I haven't checked the email yet. I will work on that on Monday. And email you back with the claim information on what you got to do to claim it. It's super easy, though. All you got to do is just, I'm going to give you a code. You make a comment, type in that code, that exact same code, and you're good to go. But I'm pretty confident that it was you that emailed me, so we'll see how that plays out here in a bit. But it's really easy to claim. Then you just email me your mailing address, and boom, I send it out to you. So congratulations on the great win. Well worth it. Only $1.99 to become a member, and boom, already a winner. So, and with silver sitting right now at $38.04, really 38.07, really a great investment in my opinion. And I've always thought the memberships was a steal for people to become a member. There are a few people that haven't won anything yet. It does happen. Some people, they just don't have the luck on their side right off. I really felt bad for the one person that ended up doing it and made it all the way to the end and then lost in the end. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, especially because he was watching. But taking a look, 38.06, can't beat that in my opinion. Good stability, like I said earlier. We're seeing a lot of volume. They're trying to, a couple times we've seen it try to come down and then instantly pop right back up. We're seeing higher volume. I think people recognize gold and silver is going higher. The economy is slowing. I'm seeing a whole lot more houses, even in the area that I'm in, for sale. Some of the shipyards in the surrounding towns have really came to a screeching halt, I guess you can say. Some of the refineries cutting people, a lot of stuff getting pushed back into the year. We'll see how that plays out, but really this is rough. I'm seeing businesses slow down, restaurants, less people coming in, less money getting spent, more people wanting to essentially cook at home, preparing for what's going on. I think people are starting to see it. No matter where you are in the country, you're starting to see that slowdown. And we've talked about this slowdown happening. And when it does happen, if you've got gold and silver, you've got opportunity. You've got stability. You've got the resources needed to take advantage of what happens. And I really believe, I really believe that that's why we're seeing central banks buying up gold. They're buying up silver. I'm really curious to see if we're going to see some sort of a big pullback in housing prices. If we're going to see a massive amount of houses hit the market, because there's a lot of banks right now that are having foreclosed homes and they don't want to put it on the market. There's a lot of different reports out there that banks are holding assets to prevent having to take a loss on them. They'll keep them on their books a little longer, but how long can they keep them on? Because keep in mind, a vacant house, a bank is not in business to essentially hold houses on the books. They don't rent them. They might hold them because they don't want to take a loss, but while they're holding them, if prices should happen to come down, it puts them in a hard spot. So we'll see how this is going to play out. Personally, I think gold and silver is the way to go right now. I know some people are pro Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at the Bitcoin price in a minute, but gold looking decent at 33.48. Not really up a whole lot. However, we did see a little bit of a pullback earlier in the evening, and now it's kind of rebounded. So we'll see how that plays out. Bitcoin, taking a quick look at Bitcoin down a couple $1,000s right now, or 2%, down to 115,000. We were up to 122,000. Still doing a good job, hanging pretty well over that 100,000 mark. So we'll see how that plays out as time goes on. What's that say? Treasury Secretary issues surprise September Fed prediction after U.S. Bitcoin. Well, we'll see what that is. I'll have to look into that a little bit later. I'm curious what that surprise prediction was. I wouldn't be surprised to see us get a rate cut next month. And I think that rate cut is really what's going to catapult silver and gold up even higher when we do see it. We'll see the initial cut will probably happen, and we might see a little bit of a pullback. But then I think we're going to see it just push forward again. So we'll see. Taking a quick look at the DXY, wondering where the dollar is trading right now. I'm going to go out, well, no point in saying now, I'm guessing, because now I see it not just under 98. So we're doing a good job holding right around that 98 mark. So with that being said, let's jump over and let's talk a little bit about that comment that I read to you guys earlier. Basically, the person had a $20 bill. They had a 1 ounce Inglehard round with a receipt that they paid $5.55 for it. Now, what do we see in this transaction here? You know, some people are going to be like, wow, $5.55. You know, there was a time when you could get an ounce of silver for like $1. And a lot of people just missed out on the opportunity. We used it as money. And a lot of us weren't around then. There was some people that are in the room that might be watching this video that were around when silver was cheap. Definitely the $5 mark. A lot of people watching this video right now were around when it was $5. But how many people really took the opportunity? Some people did, some people didn't. A lot of people had this belief back then, you're never going to see $20 silver. It's ridiculous to even think that. There were people out there that thought that. And when the price skyrocketed to $50 during the Hunt brothers, a lot of people were still buying after they had just seen a 10x move on the price of silver, and they were buying it up. And it ain't the first time that they've seen that. They've seen it again in 2011. The price just skyrocketed. People were buying it up. And then there's always going to be people that buy at the high and complain. And a lot of that comes down to when the markets are up, people are always going to want to pump it up higher. They're going to want to tell you it's going to go higher. They're going to want to convince people, look what happened, look what happened. Bitcoin was $25,000. Now it's $100,000. Now it's $120,000. They want people to put in more money to keep the game going and keep pushing it higher and higher. But a lot of people don't really see what's going on. Now, I do believe a lot of assets, true assets, are going to go higher. As they continue to debase the money, as they continue to print more and more dollars, it's natural that everything we buy is going to go up in price. I was actually talking to a friend of mine today. He said the Dollar Tree got bought up by Dollar General and that they're going to no longer have stuff for $1. And I said, which one's? I'm sitting there thinking for a minute. He goes, that's the one we buy our drinks at every day. Whenever if we go play Frisbee or disc golf. He goes, that's where we get our drinks. And, I mean, that would be bumming. I like getting my drink for $1.25. So we'll see how that plays out. But ultimately, everything is going to go higher and higher in price. And once you realize that, you can start preparing. There's a lot of people in denial. They think that the inflation is over. They think it's transitory. Here's the thing. Generally, what they tell us is usually designed, I don't want to say propaganda, but that's exactly what it is. It's designed so you don't worry because they want you to keep spending your money. They don't want you to save. They don't want you to prepare. That's why, I don't remember what country it was, if it was Britain or where it was, that they want to put essentially digital, they want to roll out the digital currency. And they want to make it to where if you try to save it, it expires after a year. And what does that do for people? Well, what it does, it keeps the economy, it keeps the money moving. They don't want people saving because if you can save money, then essentially they're not making revenue, from taxes, stuff like that. If they can get everybody to keep spending the money like a hot potato, I mean, can you imagine if they put like a 1 week hold on your money? As soon as you get it, you have 1 week to spend it. If you don't spend it, it expires. It's like a hot potato. People will be trying to get rid of their currency as quick as they can. And some people think that would be great because they'll be able to tax it. And to a certain point, that is. They'll be able to tax every time a dollar changes hands, they take a tax out of it. But ultimately, it also ramps up inflation. Because if you're not saving, if you're holding your dollars, there are some people out there that are holding dollars in bank accounts, in mattresses, in overseas safes, vaults. As these dollars are not getting spent into circulation, what they're not doing is driving up prices. So I think people don't really understand, the high-ups don't really understand what they're doing when it comes to economics. They kind of go, and maybe they do understand, and they want the inflation. That way stuff goes higher and higher in price. But ultimately, when stuff goes up too high in price, people will not want to hold dollars, period. They'll want to end up spending them dollars on something tangible like gold, silver, or even Bitcoin for that matter. Now, I know Bitcoin is not tangible, but you have to understand the standpoint of many people. Common, everyday people believe that Bitcoin is a safe haven asset. It's probably better than dollars, but at some point, we could see it come crashing down. Same with stocks. Gold and silver could come down a little bit, but them are the building blocks of technology. That's something they need for just about everything. And so if that continues to go up in price and you're holding it, you can do very well with it. So That's my thoughts on that. Now, it's the same way with that 1 ounce silver. When he bought that at $5.50, that went up in value. It was a tangible item, but $20 is still just $20. In fact, that $20, it might still be $20. It might still seem like it's $20, but it buys you a lot less. Back then, it might have bought in someone, I don't know, 10 gallons of gas. It doesn't buy you 10 gallons of gas anymore for $20. So as they continue to print, those bills are worth less and less and less. And when you see an old receipt with an old piece of silver, it really does feel good to know you made the right choice. I had found a 10 1/10 ounce gold coins a while back that I had actually bought at a pawn shop. And at the time of buying it, gold was $999 an ounce. It was $1,000 an ounce, basically. And I think it was like right about 1,000, plus or minus 10, 20 bucks. But the receipt, he typed in 999 and gave it to me for that. And no tax on gold, obviously, here in the United States as of right now. Could that change? That could change depending on where you are in the United States. I guess that's not really true. I say that because I'm here in Texas. We don't have a tax on gold and silver. But even at a certain point, people may end up shifting to putting a tax back on that stuff. But I think more and more people are starting to realize that gold and silver is real money, and they want to hold some. And if you're holding it, you're going to be in a pretty good spot. Let me take a drink real quick. Just went to Whataburger a little bit ago. I only had a soda. It's pretty cool. They actually give retired military free coffee. And then the guy's like, you want hot or cold? I said, I don't really care. An empty cup, and I'll put a soda in it. He's like, here you go. So I was pretty excited about that. My buddy and them, they got hamburgers and tacos and stuff, but I didn't want to eat something that late. So, yeah, needless to say, where the prices on metals are going and everything. Now, I always got to say, this is not financial advice, because some people want to take it as financial advice, and then they want to cry when the price dips. And ultimately, yeah, the price can dip. It's not like set in stone, like it can't go under 38. There are opportunities where it comes down. I remember when I bought all that silver not too long ago, at probably a little close to the beginning of the year, the end of the first quarter. So it was right around, the second or third month. And I had said that I had bought on credit. And I guess somebody, we seen the dip. And somebody else commented, yeah, good going. I ended up listening to you, and I bought on credit. Now I'm short all that money. I could have been buying now a little bit cheaper. Okay, maybe over the next week you can make that comment. You can't make that comment now. We're back over $38. And here's the thing. People are paying more than $38. I can't find any for $38. You guys will have to let me know. And someone's watching it right now, and it's like $37.98. But you still can't get it that cheap. I mean, the cheapest I can find anything for right now is right around 40, 41, somewhere in that range. And that's if I'm willing to take whatever, essentially. So I think we're going to continue to see prices continue to slowly work up. I thought that was a really exciting comment that, because like I said, it does feel good when you find those old receipts. Some of y'all, I'm sure, bought when stuff was a whole lot cheaper. In fact, very few of you, I believe, are down on your silver purchases right now. And I think it's only going to go higher from here, and the opportunities. Now, here's the thing. There may be someone out there watching this video that bought when silver was $50. But my argument to that is, okay, it went from $50 down to $15, and you didn't think it was a bright idea to buy more? Once it hit $25, I would have bought more, and that way I could double my stack and then bring down my dollar cost average. But here's the thing. Imagine if you had bought at 15. Imagine, let's say for a minute you bought 100 ounces of silver at $50. You've got a $50 dollar cost average. You've got 100 ounces. If all of a sudden silver did fall like it did, it worked its way all the way down to 15, and you bought more, let's say you bought another 100 ounces at that $15 range, now you essentially have $32.50 as your dollar cost average, $32.50, and you're up a good amount. So there's always going to be someone out there, and I always say the people that are out there complaining like they're down on their silver or their gold investment, they're few and far. Usually they're cherry picking data, just like I could come on here and I could cherry pick data. A common cherry pick is, name me one other asset that was cheaper in 1979 than it is today. Well, silver. Silver was $50, and now it's been beat up to $38. Well, that's cherry picking. I'm not going to sit here and cherry pick for you guys because, yes, that's true. It was cheaper back then, but that was someone literally picking something out of the woodwork, So it can go both ways. Once you realize that. But the truth of the matter is, gold and silver is slowly working its way up. It is. And once you realize that, you realize I want to position myself to do well if just the system keeps going. Let's not even take into account the great taking. Let's not take into account a full monetary reset, a collapse of the dollar. Let's just play the game and say, okay, if the ball just keeps going the direction that it's going right now and nothing major happens. Because the truth of the matter is there's no fix to what's going on. The genie's out of the bottle. Once you've printed all that money, where is it going to go? No one wants to be the one to destroy it. Hey, you want to help inflation? Go empty your bank account, ask for cash, and burn it. That's not going to happen. Nobody wants to do it. And government is no different. Government don't want to throw that money away. Nobody does. And so you're going to see prices continue to climb more and more and more because no one is going to take the high road and do what really needs to be done to make the dollar strong again. So we're stuck in this boat, and it will only keep going down this stream, and this stream ends with higher prices. Higher price on gold, higher price on silver, higher price on everything we buy. And eventually we will hit the end of the stream, and that's where the waterfall is, and we'll go over it, and we'll see everything just go crazy. But that could be a ways down the road. We don't know. They keep kicking the can down the road. They keep coming up with new ideas, trying to invent new things, kind of like central bank digital currencies, kind of like stable coins. They're looking for ways to kick the can down the road so they don't have to fess up. No one wants this problem to explode while they're in office because it's not going to look good. I had someone tell me today, man, Trump is messing up the economy. I personally believe he is trying to fix it, but he can't do nothing. Despite whether you like the guy or you don't like the guy, there's not much they can do with the damage that is done. And yes, he can't come out and scare everybody and tell them the truth. If he tells them the truth, all that's going to happen is it's just going to collapse sooner. So you try to instill a little confidence. I've always said it's kind of like the coach that he's got his band of kids that ain't playing as a team. They're horrible players, and they're up against the number one team. Well, he ain't going to come out and tell them they suck. No, he's got to come out and tell them, hey, you guys are going to do good today. I can feel it. He's got to pump them up and make them believe that nothing bad is going to happen. And maybe they'll all go out there and try to do their best, and maybe they'll win. Maybe they'll prolong the inevitable. And that's exactly what's happening with the dollar right now. They're trying to prolong the inevitable. And during that time that they're kicking the can down the road, they're prolonging it. They are hopefully positioning. Now, when I say that, some people, they tell me, dude, you're giving them too much credit. And maybe I am. Maybe they're not preparing at all. But I like to believe that they're taking a lot of this money and they're buying gold. They're preparing. And ultimately, we won't be totally worthless currency when it all comes to an end. But if it does, I'm positioning myself so I'm safe both ways. With that being said, I'm going to wrap up the video here. I thank everybody for watching. I really hope you guys check out some of my other great videos. I love hearing y'all's comments. You guys do a great job leaving me a lot of good comments about what's going on. And let me see if we can get that there. About how you like the videos and, give me ideas for videos, because this was actually a good idea for a video that someone left me, and it gives me something to talk about. And definitely check out the short videos. I've been posting a short video every day again, just because they're fun, and it gives me a little more freedom of being able to be a little more creative on what I do on my short videos. It doesn't just have to be on silver. I can do different stuff. So I thank everybody for watching. I hope you hit the subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, leave me a comment. Let me know, hey, I'm new to the channel. I just found you. I love seeing them comments because it makes me feel good knowing the channel is growing and new people are subscribing, because it's been kind of slow lately. I've been stuck on this 14.9 now for like ever. So thank you so much, and I hope you all have a great day. Be sure to check out some of my other great videos, and I will see you guys again on T-Square Talk. Take care. Have a great week. Start of your week. Great Monday. I know Mondays are always rough, so take care, everybody, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.